Alrighty. We hit go live. Just do a sound check. Alrighty. We're here. We're here. Total Warhammer 3 update patch 2.3. It's gonna be great. Normally I try not to read these things ahead of time. This one did because there was a lot of people messaging me about it, and it's rather short. I have a lot of thoughts, but let's get through it, huh? Let's just get through it. Again, if you haven't watched something like this with me before, I generally don't care too much about campaign balancing because I feel like the campaign in general doesn't need to be balanced for me to have fun. So the way I play campaign, I don't care about balancing. Also, I focus a lot on land battles, not as much domination, though I'll try to remember to also talk about domination stuff here. Alright. Customizable endgame scenarios make the way to multiplayer. That's a good change. Brand new selection videos. Wow, that's crazy! For the original Warhammer 1 Lords. I mean, I don't really care, but that's fine. What up? It's Izzy. The rats are back in town. Yeah. Alright. Sweeping balance changes to Tomb King's vampire counts, Skaven, and more. Wowzers! It's underwhelming. Further tweaks to victory objectives. Okay, fine. Changes to how the AI dodge spells, artillery, and other range attacks. Cool. Alright. Skip. Endgame scenarios customization multiplayer. We pretty much already talked about it. Hooray. Alright. Stability and performance fix an end-of-turn crash that would occur when the AI had a rebel faction cake through settlement. Okay, less crashes. Good. Landmarks. Bigger settlements, landmarks. Bug fixes. This might help everybody. Improvements have been made to unit coordination to enter a breach. Columns are now better spaced when adjacent cubes blob together, and improve how units prevent them from blobbing when attempting to enter a settlement. A lot of that design is around settlement stuff, but it could also help with the problem of like you clicking attack orders onto something and your unit makes a single file column all the way over there. One second. All right, I had a question from someone. Still saw campaign people complaining about the changes, saying multiplayer impacts the campaign too much. I mean, it's fine. How much has changed in the last like 3 months or endless? A lot, but not enough. A lot, but not enough. All the chaos factions and all the undead factions are OP. All right, anyway. Offer join war, vassal factions. Okay, other diplomacy shit. Exploit fizz. Can't underway into the Great Bastion. Okay, fine. So this paragraph bothered me a lot. Crumbling's damage was increased in update 2.2, but this change was not sufficient to counterbalance the high morale these three factions received in 2.0. With 2.3, we're slightly toning down these factions' leadership, finally detailed changes in each faction section. Undead are meant to spend a longer amount of time in the crumbling state compared to demonic instability, which is why the damage is low. It's slow death. On the other hand, demonic units are supposed to break and take significantly large amounts of burst damage and banish back to the Chaos Realms. Like, okay, but crumbling is insignificant damage. It's insignificant damage. Units can sit at 4 HP, legitimately, this has been on my videos multiple times, but 4 HP, tick down to 1, and then tick down to dead. Like, that's how insignificant this fucking damage is, because it doesn't bleed over between models, it feels like, right? So if your whole unit is going to take 16 damage, it feels like, I don't know if this is the math, but it feels like if half the unit is dead, they actually take 8 damage. Or something along the lines of a single model takes 16 damage, and if it dies after 1, the other 15 doesn't spread. Something is wrong with crumbling, because a unit shouldn't be at 4 HP and then go to 1 and then die. Or some people are immediately going to be like, 1 is just a placeholder as the last model dies. Yeah, but I'm talking about like also like 10 down to 4, right? When the minimum damage is 16, 10 should just be dead. Like 10, boom, dead. But it doesn't work that way. Shit crumbles impossibly slow. So like, When the problem is that crumbling doesn't matter ever in the state of the game, and most units heal cap. For me, the issue isn't, oh man, if only the leadership was a little bit lower so they would start useless crumbling slightly sooner. Okay. And leadership's all over the goddamn place. I had a game the other day where I had a unit, we were casting it, unit went from 7 to negative 31 to negative 18, and then it broke. And that was all in the course of like a second. So there was a leadership disparity of 40 in there. 40! And like, unless these leadership changes, which I read ahead and I know they're not, unless these leadership changes are on the magnitude of 40, we're still going to have issues with leadership and crumbling this damn game. Anyway, hi Guillermo. Anyway. Bretonnia is underperforming in battle, particularly in multiplayer. Infantry is too costly and cavalry is too weak. The Bretonnian changes are actually good. I enjoy them a lot from what I read. All right. I really do like them a lot. Bug fixes for their banners. Okay, whatever. Foot Squire, more bonus versus infantry sets above. Guerrero Leak is much cheaper, insanely cheaper, and speed increase. Men-at-Arms, 25 gold off at all ranks. They are underperforming as an infantry unit. Now, sure, Bretonnian peasants are supposed to be not very cost-effective at all, but still, buffs are buffs. Spearmen-at-Arms take the same treatment. And then this is the big thing. Formation Lance, removed deceleration stat, added 50% mass multiplier, added -8 melee defense. You might be like, okay, what does that really mean? Impact damage is determined by mass, so this makes impact damage a lot better for Bretonnians when they're in the Lance formation. So then it's actually an interesting choice about impact damage versus your spread. And I hadn't tested that, but I think you can turn formation off once you collide in melee combat to get rid of the -8 melee defense. You can do more on the charge and then deactivate it and get your melee defense back, which is good because it requires a lot of micro, so it shows a lot of scale expression. But I did do tests, and in Lance formation, Bretonnian Knights killed about 30% faster, I would say. I tested it on basic Marauders, but yeah, it's a good change. It makes Formation Lance actually feel like is a choice to it. Renless, you have the best solution? What's that? We just remove all undead and demon units from the game. Yeah. Competitive guys should just make their own tournament, balance mod, and be done with CA. Maybe CA will stop ruining the game for both multiplayer and single player. I mean, are they ruining it for single player? I've been having a ton of fun with single player. But, I don't know. Mod tournaments, you lose a lot of casual or new players with mods. And like some people who really love mods will disagree with that, but like I don't like mods. I got a game recently, MechWarrior 5. My brother said it kind of sucks without mods, but with mods it's really good. And I'm just like, guess I won't play it. I don't play Skyrim with mods, so like I'm the type of person that doesn't like mods. I have a friend, Mr. Overlord, who plays. He's like, yeah, I'm not getting mods for this stuff. Like I'd rather just not play and keep up with mods and stuff. So like you can enjoy mods. This is an attack on mods, but it's like there are certain people that are just like, everybody loves mods, and it's like, nah, there's a good amount of people that don't. And it sucks to divide the community even more between mods and unmods. So, Dark Elves. We've identified some issues with recent changes of Dark Elf slave mechanic. There's just too many slaves, so then they fix slaves. Multiplayer. Okay, guys. Okay, the multiplayer section of Dark Elves being at the top of the tier list. Let's go. What's it going to be? Is it going to be Malice Darkblade nerfs? Is it going to be Malekith nerfs? Is it going to be Soul Stealer nerfs? Is it going to be any of those things? Scourger and Chariots are in every single game. Maybe they're going to nerf those. Changed Crone Hellebrand's Blood Voyage armies in multiplayer campaigns. Oh, we're in the wrong section. We have to go to the Dark Elves are the exact fucking same. Dwarves. Belgar Nighthammer's ancestor hero, Drummer Hammerfist, no longer starts with a skill that locks out a part of his cat. They fixed dwarves. Thork Eyebrow giving constant AoE, perfect vigor, and all the other dwarf lords being literally useless. Fixed. Oh my god. This sucks. Alright. Grand Cathay. Update 2.2. In retrospect, we feel this change actually worsened the player experience. Revert the change back. Okay, so they unchanged the thing in campaign. And formation attack, melee defense from 9 to 5. Yes! Jade Warriors, 500 gold units with over 50 melee defense is now still just around 50 melee defense. Fixed all the problems. Righteous Lances are totally fine. Their leadership is totally normal. Their front line still isn't going to overperform every other front line of the whole game. Their Peasant Longspearmen aren't going to overperform every 350 gold spear unit in the entire game. Their cannons aren't going to be the only cannon that actually hits anything anymore. Talons of Night is still a balanced spell. Ancestor Summon is not just going to be spammed constantly. We won't only see the Lore of Yin ever, and they won't continue to be constantly banned in land battles. Yay! Fixed it! You fixed it. Oh, God. They didn't do anything about the harmony. Greenskins. Fixed detailed issues where Goblin Rock Lobbers. What? I don't give a shit about that. Fixed the bug where the Greenskin Wah ability army sound effects would trigger when the effect ended instead of becoming able to use. That is a good change. I like that a lot. Okay. Campaign. Skip. Azhag. Added Slaga Slasha and Odd Armor. Yes, they did it! They did it. And in case you didn't watch my video this morning, let me pull up something real quick for you. Hey. Wake up. There you go. Real quick. Azhag. If he's on foot, he still has the spider banner, which he didn't used to have. So he got another item. That's cool. Slaga Slashos and Azhag's Art Armor. If you put him on Skull Muncher, they're all gone. So as long as you're taking foot Azhag, he's good. God damn it. Fucking shit. Grimgor got his Bloodforged Armor, which he should have had this whole time. And Savage Orc Boar Boys got 50 gold cost reduction. So did the Biggins got 100 gold cost reduction. Now you might be saying, Human Boy, why don't we ever see the Savage Orc Boar Boys? Well, let's see. They have 0 armor. And that's about all that's different between them and normal Boar Boys who have shields and they have armor. Well, Human Boy, that sounds like it sucks. Oh, you just wait. They have Frenzy, and they're a low leadership faction, so that won't last very long. They have Frenzy, and they have, say it with me, Physical Resist. But Human Boy, don't most units in this fucking game have magic attacks now because the demons were added? Well, yes, but I don't see how it's related to Physical Resist, because you see Physical Resist only blocks damage coming from physical things, so magic damage goes straight through. Oh. That's why they're not getting picked. It's not really a cost thing, but sure, we'll take it. I mean, it's fine. This is okay for the Greenskins. Like, yeah, Azhag shit still doesn't work on his mount, which is how you're going to take him in most competitive environments. Sure. Grimgor needed his Bloodforged Armor. Yeah. Did Greenskins need help overall besides that? Fuck yeah, and they didn't get it. Hi, Elves. No balance changes at all. They're honestly in a fine spot, though. I mean, like, I know some people want some changes to them, and that's fine, but, like, overall, they're okay. Khorne, this is the big fucking misprint. When I saw this, I was like, what? Chaos Knights of Khorne are not 800 gold. It's the Forsaken. I don't know why the Forsaken got confused with the Chaos Knights. The Chaos Knights are a 1,400 gold unit. Going down to 800 gold would be insane. So no, that's not happening. Chaos Knights of Khorne are not cheaper than Empire Knights. It's Forsaken. I don't know how they did that, but they did. Lore of Yin was banned in land battles? No, Lore of Yin wasn't banned in land battles. I'm just saying Cathay never makes it through the pick and ban. I get not liking complete overhaul mods like that, never understand not getting the quality of life changes. How can you play Skyrim or Total War unmodded? It's beyond my comprehension. If you have mods, it can be hard to play quick battles. Also, you have to update mods constantly. Yeah. But, no. No, the Grimgor, he gets his armor back in quick battles too, yeah. But I don't know. Like, I didn't like modded Skyrim because I would have to, every time there was an update or something, the mods would go out of date or break my game. And there was like a whole, you had to download a portal and get all this stuff and make sure mods didn't conflict with other mods. It's like, if you enjoy modding, it can be hard to keep up. Like, if you're deep into modding, that's fine. But like for casual people where it's like, just get this mod and then make sure it updates every 2 or 3 weeks, or uninstall it and install the new mod, or install this different mod that's better, or oh, is it first in your mod queue because it has to be fourth in your mod queue? And like, there's people like me that just don't want to fucking deal with that. Like, I used to have mods for Vermintide because my friend made this list, and he's like, I'll do it all for you, just download this list. And okay, I did that. And then a month later, we couldn't even play together, and we had to do, I swear to God, we had to do a 2-hour troubleshooting session to figure out which mod wasn't working. And when we figured it out, I was out of time and had to go to work. I had to go to bed so I could go to work in the morning. So like, some people like me, and I'm sure others, I'm sure I'm not the only person on the planet, don't like mods because they get in the way of just sitting down and playing the goddamn game after you get home from work. Like, and it's fine to like mods. I've been attacked a lot, even by my own friends, about like, why don't you like mods, bro? And it's some people just don't. Mods update themselves. Tell that to the fucking Vermintide mods. Jesus Christ. The mod that gave you numbers in the health bar. So instead of just seeing a red bar and you're like, I don't know, Kruber's at about half health. He's at 36 out of 80. Okay, I can tell 36 out of 80. I know how he's doing. That mod didn't get updated. And then every time we opened the game, it would crash. And we couldn't figure out why. So we had to delete and reinstall mods until we found the one that fixed it. Yeah. And it's fine to like mods, but like, you're gonna, if you take 100 people and you say, guys, to improve the multiplayer experience, we all have to get mods, maybe 70 will continue playing, maybe. But every time you do that, you chop down your player base, and our player base is already small as shit because the game isn't in a good state. Yeah. All right, Kislev. Visual stuff, campaign stuff, Kislev's getting left alone, which is okay. They're B tier in land battles, which is fine. I don't think they're played at all in domination mode, so that kind of sucks for them, but they just have slow hybrid infantry, so they have a hard time holding objectives. I think there's the box that unchecks all mods for multiplayer, but I get you. Yeah. Oh yeah, Bojang. But overall, mods could be a tough sell, and there's some people that just don't want to deal with mods at all. Graphical issues with Quaddle's feathers are now fixed. Sorry, Lizardmen. More visual stuff and then campaign stuff. So Lizardmen are still remaining where they are, which is, again, is fine. They're mid-tier. Norsca, Marauder Horsemen, and Horse Masters, 50 gold increase for each. This is where we start to get into the Marauder Horse stuff. So Skirmish Cav is getting more expensive for Chaos, and that is a good change. I don't know how much it's going to matter, but losing 200 gold is pretty significant, right? Because in any Norsca matchup, maybe even 300 gold, any Norsca matchup, you're taking 6 or 4 Skirmish Cav. So 50 gold can add up. Like, that's almost a whole Marauder. So every Norscan army just lost a Marauder. You'll still probably see them, but maybe not as universally, or the people that use them will go, their power will go down. Yeah, I'll get to that. It's easy, but I agree. For Nurgle, I got confused here. Dev note, in this multiplayer update for Nurgle, we're making their Chaos Shrines more expensive on characters while encouraging the inclusion of elite monsters and Chaos Knights in the meta. That's the segment. Now, it could just be that the patch notes were written wrong, but then there's no follow-up to that. Like, make Chaos Shrines more expensive on characters while including the incursion of elite monsters and Chaos Knights. Where are the buffs for Chaos Knights in here? Like, they were fine. I don't know if they need buffs, honestly, but you talked about them and there's just nothing here. Where's the elite monsters? Is it just the Great Unclean One that you wanted to buff? What's happening? Does the ROR Great Unclean One also get these buffs? Or does it not? Like, what is this? Is there buffs for the Pox Riders, the elite Plague Toads? Or are those not elite monsters? Are Soul Grinders elite monsters? If so, do they get buffs? Like, what the fuck is this sentence? Chaos Shrines are more expensive. Where's that written? Where is it? What is going on? This sentence is not connected to the rest of the thing. None of this, the only thing that mattered was the Great Unclean One. That's the elite monster part, but elite monsters is plural. Where's the plural? Where's the Chaos Knights? Where's the Chaos Shrine? What is this? What is this sentence for? Anyway, that pissed me off. as you could tell. Ogre Kingdoms, they were doing fine, apparently. They got nothing. They were doing fine. Monstrous models colliding into each other constantly so they don't swing? Totally fine. Ogre Bulls losing to every front line on the game because you just get pointy sticks and kill them? Totally fine. Lead Belchers can't hit a goddamn thing unless they're triple gold chevron, and then they're so expensive they won't ever pay for themselves or they run out of ammo? Totally fine. Totally fine. It's totally fine. Grease's Gold Tooth is unusable in any competitive environment? Fine. It's fine. God damn it. Did they fix the ROR Giant? I don't know. Doesn't say they did. Did you come with expectations of a logical cohesion and or consistency? Nah. Skaven! Campaign stuff. That's fine. Warlords no longer T-pose while after dying on a Brood Horror mount honestly makes the game worse. I'm just kidding, but I do love I used to love that. Alright, units. Poison Globadiers, 100 more gold. Increased. That's a good change. Globes are overperforming. Now what they should have done was nerf explosion damage, because bombers and Vampire Coast bombers and Poison Wing Globes and stuff are doing way too much impact damage. The damage over time on the effect is largely worthless at this point, so you just use them as like a bomber unit like the Vampire Coast would. And the explosion does a shit ton. Now, I would prefer they nerf the damage, but they brought the cost up 100, which is pretty significant. Good change, honestly. It's fine. Doomflayers, cost reduction, fine. They've been performing a lot better in Game 3. They are limited by their extreme price, but, you know, they're a unit that's not used. Buffs, so fine. Mutant Rat Ogres, recruitment cost down 100, also fine. Skaven were in an alright spot, so a couple nerfs is fine. Cleansing Ruin damage down is a good change. It's a good change. That spell was just not very fun to interact with. Ogres were OP, so they buffed Empire and Bretonnian Spears. Yeah. I like these Skaven changes. I mean, they're nerfs, but they're nerfs in the right spots. Globe's more expensive, and Cleansing Ruin does less damage, so it's like, you know, spells that are super strong, like Cleansing Ruin, that just punish blobs, but are also just point, click, and undodgeable. Not very fun. Slaanesh. Hellstriders. Okay, Hazel's playing with the cat. Sorry. Hellstriders up 50 gold. Hellstriders Hellscourge is up 100 gold. So taking away the 50 buff they got last patch and giving them an 100. So take away the 50, add another 50. So they were like, whoops, we fucked up, and did a 180 on the Hellstriders Hellscourges. Also, Marauder Horsemen increased 50 gold. These are nerfs. My problem, and I talked to Platypus about this on our Dom stream together, my problem isn't that Slaanesh does really well on the sides. I honestly think they should. My problem is Slaanesh wins the frontline fight so goddamn hard. It really annoys me. So they're taking the changes in the wrong direction, in my opinion, because they just keep nerfing Slaanesh's mobile dominance. And it's like, what do you want them to be? Do you, for some reason, want Slaanesh to be a front-to-back grind composition? Why would you want that? Their whole kit is about dominating the flanks, getting you to rout, and chasing you off. And they're like, what should we route? The insane pressure of devoted Marauders of Slaanesh, all having ITP, immune to psychology, that they can bust through your front line no matter how elite you are. Or should we nerf the thing that makes them fun and interactive? Nerf the fun and interactive thing! These boys need to infantry spam, goddammit. So stupid. The Empire fixed a bunch of random things. Units, Great Swords got a cost decrease. Someone told me that that's actually 850, not 875, so that's incorrect, but whatever. 50 gold cost decrease on Great Swords is fine. They'll take it. Empire Spearmen got a cost decrease. They did not need that. Empire Spearmen are great. Empire Spearmen with Shields got a cost decrease. They did not need that. Empire Spearmen with Shields are great. Swordsmen got a cost decrease. They did need that. Swordsmen suck dick. Steam Tank got Perfect Vigor. That's fine. It probably should have had it the whole time. Multiplayer cost down. It's also fine. It's fine. War Wagons, 25 gold cost increase. We fucking did it, lads. Triple War Wagon won't be the constant meta if Empire's ever played ever. Don't worry. They fixed it. Their models, can you hit them? No. They could just roll out of anything. They don't take damage in melee combat. But that's fine. Did you lower their insane missile damage if you're not going to make them more targetable? Well, also no. Well, what did you do? We increased it by 25 gold. Now, someone, I forget who, in the Discord pointed this out, and it made me even more pissed off. We increased war wagons by 25 gold, ladies and gentlemen. That means every triple war wagon game, you have to pay 75 more gold. Well, do you see something else in these patch notes that might make that not fucking matter? Is it that your entire front line got 25 gold fucking cheaper, so it didn't matter? You probably saved money in the end anyway. The Empire War Wagon build is actually cheaper because your front line got cheaper at the same time. What was the point? What was the point? Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, it's more their passive that people have a problem with. Yeah, having an ITP front line is pretty fucking difficult to break. Tomb Kings. So, Tomb Kings are the only undead that actually got nerfed in a significant way, and I'll get to that. Minus 10 leadership on a lot of units. Minus 5 on some of their more elite units. It's every unit on the roster, so we're not really going to go through that too closely. But it's 5 or 10, depending on how elite you are. Okay, cool. The Realm of Souls healing cut in half is actually pretty significant. So that's fine. Yeah, that's actually fine. This is probably a fine change. We'll have to see what happens with Tomb Kings. I think they go from being S tier to being either A or B tier, but like all of these causing Crumbling to happen a little faster and the Realm of Souls healing getting decreased is actually pretty significant. Like, no joke. It's fine. Minus 20 leadership for the Sphinx, though? I see 10. 15 over here. That's kind of fucked, but yeah. Cathay infantry got minus 4 melee defense. Yeah, from formation attack. Yeah, that's it. All right, Tzeentch. So Tomb Kings I liked. From a land battles perspective, and even Dom. I mean, Crumbling faster and Realm of Souls healing get cut in half. I think that'll take him down from being super, super OP. Tzeentch Winds of Magic. Okay, that's campaign stuff. Marauder Horseman plus 50 gold. That's it. Okay, so Blue Fire is still the same as it was. Shields are still the same that they were. Marauder Horsemen are still going to be really strong, but they cost more now, I guess. Solo Grinders will still be really strong. Vampire Coast. As with the Tomb Kings and Vampire Gaunts, we adjusted leadership values to better work with Crumbling. Okay. Everything's down 5 to 10 across the board. Though, actually, this one's just 5 across the board. I don't see any 10s. Oh, there's one. The black spot got minus 10, because fuck being elite, I guess. Yeah. So everything got minus 5. And the black parapet, duration down 3 seconds, power recharge down a lot, and reserves per second down, 50%. So that's a good change. That item was really strong, especially in domination. But the rest of this, I feel like we're missing the point. Right? The point is that infantry spam is too damn strong. Now, what ends up taking out zombie pirate gunnery mobs? What ends up taking out zombie pirate deckhands mob? Is it their leadership slowly crumbling them to nothing? Or is it having to literally kill the entire thing? You have to literally kill the entire thing. It's not like, oh man, 5 more leadership. It's going to crumble so much faster. It's like, no. Their bomber mobs are really strong right now. Their pistol mobs are generally really strong. I see them a lot at high-level play. I'm still not super sold on the pistol mobs, but yeah, like, this isn't going to change how Coast plays. This doesn't change anything about Coast being super strong, so I suspect we'll still see Coast be S or S plus tier. Vampire counts. Okay. Campaign, who cares? Leadership down across the board by, it looks like 5. 4. Ooh. And Necromancer's Forbidden Rod got tuned down a little bit. Okay, but what was the problem? Was the problem Crypt Horrors never crumbling at all? Or was the problem Crypt Horrors being negative leadership the entire fight, crumbling, but healing with their own regeneration faster than the crumbling can kick in? And they're next to a healing aura. And they're getting healed by an army passive. And every goddamn game, Crypt Horrors are gonna fucking heal cap. What's important? Well, minus 4 leadership, fixed. Is it? Do you have any idea why this unit is strong? Why are you attempting balance if you're not going to listen to anybody that tells you what's wrong? It's so fucking annoying. Warriors of Chaos. Hellstriders got cost increases. Marauder Horsemen got cost increases. We talked about before. Forbidden Rod on the Sorcerer is the same item. So all these nerfs are happen to other rosters. War Dancers got a buff for Wood Elves. Wood Elves are fixed. Cost decrease and bonus versus infantry. It's something. It's not going to be enough. Campaign, I don't care. Battle difficulty, AI actually dodge spells now if you turn that on. Graphics, audio's issues, looking forward to crashing. So why am I getting so mad? At least to be scared while healing. Yeah. So why am I so mad? Because on paper, this looked like a good patch. And that's why I was excited about it. And people asked me about it. I was pretty positive. Undead, like... Undead, like, I'm going to propose this without the actual numbers, right? Undead, stability nerfs. Greenskins, Lord fixes, and cavalry buffs, right? Nurgle elite unit buffs. Marauder horsemen nerfs, okay? What else is even in here? You know, Cathay tankiness nerfs. Bretonnia, cavalry buffs, infantry buffs, just general buffs. Like, when that stuff's proposed to you, you're like, oh, okay, they know what's wrong, and they're going to fix it in the right direction. But then you look at what they did, right? So it's like, listen, we hear you. I mean, Bretonnian nerfs are good, so that's not a good example. Hold on, scroll. We hear you. The lords for the Greenskins need buffs, like you had said. Like, I did talk to them about this. Okay, they gave Grimgor an item he was supposed to have already. And they gave Azhag items he was supposed to have already. And then they fucked up the Azhag thing, but pretend that doesn't happen. Because, you know, mistakes happen. Like, I'm not actually mad at them for, like, that bug. Like, it's annoying, but I get it. They clearly didn't do that intentionally. It's the intentional shit that's actually bothering me. Okay? Grimgor got his Bloodforged armor. He was bad in Warhammer 2. So getting an item from Warhammer 2 is not going to suddenly make him good. What will make him good? What do you intend to do with this character? Why don't you ever see him? Why do you need to fix that, right? Scarstick, we've actually been seeing a little bit of him recently. He can be okay, but he can get kited out a lot. Ground the Paunch isn't doing as well as on Ultra unit size. Azhag the Slaughter has always been too expensive, and his melee stats are really, really low, and he's super squishy, so he's just a fast caster that costs you nearly 3,000 gold. So, yeah, Black Knight saying I was super positive. Because on paper, it's like Greenskin Lords get buffed. Greenskin Cavalry gets buffed. Marauder Horsemen get nerfed. Like, Nurgle Elite stuff gets buffed. Bretonnia gets buffed. Like, those sound like good things, but it's when we're zooming in that they just have no fundamental idea why the things were broken. Or, like, the other one I could say is Undead Crumbling is going to get, well, like, Poison Globes nerfs. That's good. That was good. There are some good changes in here, but there are some that are so, like, dumb and annoying that I just don't understand. Like, the War Wagon stuff. My plus 25 gold? What the fuck is that going to do? Like, what is that going to do? Nothing. Literally nothing. And the problem with this unit that I was talking to them about is that when you catch it, you can't punish it. And they're like, got it, 25 gold, fixed. Like, again, on paper, that's a War Wagon nerf. And I'm like, cool. But then when I get to see the patch, it's insignificant, worthless. Right? It's like, this is a weird example, but it's like if you know, there's a husband cheating on a wife or something like that, and they, on paper, they go to therapy. You're like, oh, that's probably good for their relationship. But when in reality, they go to the therapist clinic because there happens to be a McDonald's next door. They walk over, get some nuggies, and go home. They didn't actually go in the clinic. Like, that's the kind of shit where the preview of the patch, I'm like, oh, they're listening to a lot of good things. They're going to do a lot of good things. Then you zoom in on the patch, you're like, they didn't fucking do anything. So, I don't know. Like, what's this Crumbling going to do? Tomb King's actually a pretty decent amount because of the Realm of Souls. That's fine. But, like, Tzeentch, all the stuff you hate about him is still going to be true, right? Coast, all the stuff you hate about him, still going to be true. Counts, all the stuff you hate about him, still going to be really fucking true. The Cryptors is the most upsetting thing there. -4 leadership. Oh, boy. Not going to see Cryptors heal cap anymore. Oh, no. Warriors of Chaos. Hellstriders and Marauder Horsemen all got cost increases, but still, you're probably going to see builds that are still entirely this and just like minus a dog unit, and that's it, right? Wood Elves, no fundamental idea of why Wood Elves are struggling. Like, do War Dancers need help? Yes. Is this going to bring Wood Elves back into the competitive environment? Fuck no. Like, it just bothers me. It bothers me a lot. Because, like, behind the scenes, I've been talking to them a lot. I've been asking them if they need help. I gave them an entire Excel spreadsheet that covered very easy things to change about each faction to at least make the game better. And they did maybe one of those things. There's 23 factions. I had a suggestion for all 23. They did maybe one. What was that one? Giving Azhag his fucking items. That's why I said maybe. It just sucks. Like, it just fucking sucks. And it's not even like... The changes we're talking about aren't even that hard. Like, you could just do this bullshit-ass numbers game for dwarves, right? The main problem I pointed out is that Thoric Ironbrow is factually... I'm not really in the mood to pretend that there's a debate about this. Thoric Ironbrow is factually the best dwarf lord. Like, he just does way too much for his cost. Well, how do you fix that? Numbers. Make him cost slightly more. Reduce his melee attack. Reduce his armor-piercing weapon strength. Reduce his melee defense. Reduce his leadership. Do any of those things. Anything. The other dwarf lords suck. What's the easiest way to do that? Easiest. Not the right way. Easiest. Make him cheaper. Give him more health. Give him more melee attack. Give him more melee defense. Give him more weapon strength. Take their items on a lower cooldown. Anything. Anything at all. And they did nothing. I don't know. This bothers me. Because I spend a lot of time on this community and shit, you know? Like, Warhammer 3 Steam charts. Player base right now is 16,000, which is lower than Warhammer 2 was at the end of its life cycle. That's the all-time graph, right? Started out high, came down low, Immortal Empires came back, people got excited, and it plummeted. Is this patch going to change that? No. And as people have talked to me a lot about, there's no content promised until Q2 of next year. So earliest is April. So we have 5 more months of what we got, and this is the last patch. So I don't know. Like, how does this game hang on? How does this game survive? Right. So what bothers me about it is we are currently at the state Warhammer 2 was in, player base wise. We have less, but whatever. We have less player base right now than Warhammer 2 did June of 2022, before Immortal Empires. The end of Warhammer 2's life cycle had twice as many active players. Twice. Twice as many. Do you know how hard that is? Do you know how hard that is to keep making content and streams and tournaments and stuff when I see participation falling, right? Falling. Viewership for me has gone up because my channel's been growing in this time, but like it's been going up a lot slower than other people who started at other areas. And now I'm dealing with a player base and an audience that's less than half the size of the previous game, right? And I started making content in May of 2021, right here. So there's one spike, and that's been all downhill. And it fucking sucks. It really does. And it's frustrating when you feel like the company in charge of it won't even make the simplest changes to do anything about it. And it just blows. There's no other way to really get around that. So I don't know, you know? Is this going to keep going down? I don't see it coming back up. It's a pretty consistent trend line right there. You know, Warhammer World Cup. Loopy in the chat has been tracking some of their stats, but like yesterday, there was a tournament I signed up for the biggest, the biggest thing, the Warhammer World Cup 12th qualifier. Tomorrow, there's 10 people signed up. There's 10, right? Platypus, RTK Platypus, good guy, good streamer who does domination content, had 200 people signing up for his tournaments. Post-Immortal Empires. Like, how can a random streamer, great guy, random streamer, get 20 times as many players as Anticity hosting the biggest tournament of the year? Because the game's in a terrible state. That's why. And it's like, all right, all hands on deck. We're messaging content creators. What's wrong with the game? How do we fix this game? And we tell you what's wrong. And you don't fucking do it. You don't do any of it. Like, you maybe did one thing I asked. And kind of gave Azhag his items. Well, then I don't know. Then I don't know what we're going to do. So it's like this. Is this patch going to bring people back to the game? Probably not. Do we have to wait for Chaos Dwarves to bring people back? Maybe. But the question is that? It says 4 more months. Platy house tournaments for new players too, which aren't invited or able to get into the big tournaments. You should be a political commentator. That energy is awesome. Thanks. Anyway, obviously, I'm bummed about this patch. Obviously. Thought I'd make this video going through it. Normally, I like to not know what's coming in the patch and do this video raw, but like I said, I had to drop Grace off at the airport this morning, so I read it. Some people were messaging me about it. As for us, I don't know what we're going to do. Faction War started. I already played my first game. If you want to guess about who's going to win that, it's in our Discord. Faction War is going to kick off. It's going to be pretty exciting. Faction War will be pretty exciting because you have to play every faction. The top tier of competitive, I don't know. Because I really don't feel like running another Vermin League where the ladder is dead because no one wants to play because they're waiting for a new meta. I don't want to really play another Vermin League where every top tier game is a Chaos faction or Dark Elves or Undead kiting each other into oblivion. I don't really want to do that. Is kite fun sometimes? Sure. Is kite fun every fucking game? No. No, it's not. Right? So I don't know. We'll ping what people want to do about picks and bans as we get closer to Season 3. But I'm pretty sick of getting my Skaven global banned by people who don't want to play it, which is fine, but then if I can't play my fucking Skaven, all we end up playing is Dark Elves versus Vampire Counts or Vampire Coast versus Tzeentch or some shit like that. That's all we end up playing. And if I try to pick off meta like Greenskins, I run face first into why they're off meta and I lose. So it's just like, okay. So I don't know. Wood tier is bullying me. Big won't let me. I like that wood tier. I like it. Reduce 360 shooting cap until new patch. Maybe. Maybe. Warhammer 3 has a terribly damaged reputation among the casuals at this point as well from the sad state of the game at launch, so I don't think that'll ever grow unless they put it on sale for 90% off. Alright, last thing I'll do for the stream is Bojang wanted to know the Skaven changes, which were actually good. Skaven changes were good. Globes nerfed by 100 gold. Doomflayer's buffed pretty slightly, but whatever. Mutant Rat Ogre's buffed pretty slightly. Flensing Ruin nerfed by 16 damage per second, which is like roughly 20% of its damage, which are good changes. I don't think anybody really enjoyed fighting against globes, so Even though it hurts my faction, I'm all for making my faction more fun to play against and play as. So, that's fine. Shitting on bad mannered players is another pastime for me. Hopefully they won't pull a 3K on Warhammer 3. Hopefully. But it feels like they already are a little bit. We'll see. What's also frustrating for people is that Immortal Empires is going to be labeled as a beta. This is the last change, they said, until 2023. So there's no other patches in the next month. And what's frustrating for people is Mortal Empires and Warhammer 2 came out like a month or two after the game released. Immortal Empires is going to be labeled as a beta for 6 months after it was released, probably. And it's still going to be in beta a year after the game released. So if the game is going to be in beta for almost over a year, why did you release it?